you mentioned earlier, you said, I really have to understand the ideal person.
Right.
Like rather than talking to a whole bunch of people, but you think about that one person, and then you basically had those 4 things that he or she needs to know.
Right.
Can you share a little bit about how you go about thinking through how your podcast amplifies your business, who you serve in the business and the podcast, how you serve them, and share it with us in a way like if we don't do that exact thing, we're still able to learn how to implement kind of what you're doing.
Right. And the last part you said is the big point. There's no one way. There's no one way to do anything. Okay. And I mean, there's good practices. Right. There's following people who have been where you want to go. That's all good stuff. Right. So what I did, Sharpen the Spear, which is Sharpen the Spear coaching is what I do. So we talk about my ideal client. What I have to do is define who, because my main way to connect with people is in-person workshops. So I do these 1-day workshops, anywhere from 10 to 30 people in the group, sometimes larger. And what I do is I spend a day and I go through performance, systemization, strategy, and scalability, and what that looks like in their business. What I start out with, Adam, is I give them a business assessment. It's the 12 areas of their business that everyone has. Okay, every business has it. And there's yes, no questions to begin. There's about 14 questions each one. There's 159 questions. You take that, it gives you a score. Okay, so each section is worth 300 points, 3,600 points. So that gives you a score to know where you're at right now with your business. It's very detailed and it's really eye-opening. Most people score really low, okay, because they just haven't looked at their business that way. So that's where I start. Okay, so they bring that to the workshop, and then now they're able to follow along with that, and we walk through all these different sections, not all 12, but we walk through systemization, and we can do some leadership and stuff like that. So in that search for those people for the workshop, that's my ideal client profile. So what I do is look for, okay, who do I want? Do I want startup? Do I want to get 10 people in here who are just starting a business? No. Okay. And people ask me why. So look, I love startups, but they have to go to an incubator program. Okay. Because startups, as I like to say, they don't have enough scars. Okay. You've got to get out, figure out what you're doing, get out there, make some mistakes and everything else so that you can appreciate what you really need to do, because you don't know what you don't know. And trying to get into me. Plus, and I'm just being straight up honest, in startup mode, you're usually broke. Okay. You don't know anything, right? Or you're looking for money, all that. So they're not really in a position to get a high-end coach to come in and work with them. But again, they also don't appreciate it. They don't have an understanding of what they really need. My ideal client profile is 5 to 15 years in business, 5 to 50 employees are doing at least $1 million a year in revenue or more. Okay. There's a few other
quick question. Sure. What if they were only doing 700,000 in revenue? What would happen?
I would not exclude them. They're not my ideal client profile. It's not like they couldn't come. Okay. Because there are people in startup mode who are heavily capitalized. Okay. Then that could work. Okay. Because the coaching, obviously you have to pay for coaching. It's not a free thing. And it's a decent number. Okay. So that there's always exceptions, Adam. So that's great. And again, you could also do 750,000 a year and you're running at like an 85% margin because you're a consultant. Okay. So you got money, right? So there's always the exceptions. It's not like, but any business, you have to at least identify your ideal client. You're going to get the outliers and stuff. That's great. And again, we do it individually anyways.